Welcome, ladies, to day 6 of 12 days of Craftmas. Can you believe that this is halfway? I don't know about you, but this has been so fun creating all these projects to share with you. So today we are creating this really grungy, love this grungy tag that we're going to be, tag, card, whatever you want it to be. So we are going to start with our background, and we are going to be working with just walnut infusions. Just walnut is just walnut ink. There's no other particles in there. There's no yellow, there's no blue, there's no anything. It's just brown, which makes it very unique that there's no other color in there like the rest of them. So again, just like what we've done in the other projects, I'm just sprinkling some on, adding the water, and I'm going to just color. We want to color the background. We're going to be adding the Tim Holtz tissue on here, but I just don't like, I want more of a grungy feel, and it's just too white. So we just need to make it grungy. So because I don't have any other color crystals in there, I can just go directly in, and it's going to give me the little specks of the walnut, but it's just brown on there. And we're not going to see a whole lot of variation of color because it's going to be under. So all I'm doing is just getting it so that there's color everywhere. Perfect. Oh, I want it a little darker. I just took it all off. Perfect. So, I mean, you could add more layers of color, but you really will not see it. It's not gonna show through. But I do love how you get all the little flecks in there. It's very, very different. Similar but different to the other ones. Okay, so we're gonna take our tissue and we're gonna crumple. And we're gonna grab our gel medium. You can tell I've used it a lot. I'm gonna need a new one here shortly. Working on a scrap piece of paper, just so that I don't get glue on my craft mat. It is, I'm right at the end of my gel medium, so it's a little thicker than normal. And I want these little labels to be right in the bottom corner. So as you can tell, I just did half first, and then I'll come in and just pull that back and do the other half. And then if you have any, just check your edges and your corners to make sure they're attached. brush in the water. If you have a brayer, you can just give it a roll so that you know it's good and secure. So set this aside or dry it. I already have one that's been done and dried so that we can move on. Just one less thing to wait. Grab a sanding block. I find is the easiest way to remove, because you literally just sand the edges and it comes right off. And then you get a really nice sanded edge as well. So this is the Tim Holtz tissue. Comes in a roll. Don't even know if you can still get it. Now that he's not actively doing new products, it's I've noticed that a lot of his stuff is like a lot of the dyes that I wanted to get from his older collections are no longer available. It's kind of sad, especially if you didn't get them when they were out. Okay, so now we're going to ink around the edge with our scorched timber. Oh, look at that beautiful color. Okay, oh, that came up. There's just, there we go. How gorgeous is that? Didn't even hardly have to do anything. Just gonna clean this off. Okay, so now we're gonna make the 2 tags. And I've got the 2 pieces of paper. What do we got for measurements? 2.5 by 3 1/4 and 2.5 by 3. So this, we're gonna use our just walnut again, except I'm gonna actually sprinkle it on the paper directly. So as you can see, there's not a whole lot. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but look at that beautiful, beautiful color. The little flecks in there. I'm just going to move that around a little. So as you can see, the same product, same, it's the crystals and water and the heat gun. Just gonna mop up some of those just to cover the entire paper. There we go. Okay, clean up the mess there. Okay, now we're going to make our tag. And a quick and simple little way to make your tag cut is put both pieces together, decide where you want your corner, clip the 2 of them together, and then just flip the one over to do the other side, and you'll get the exact same cut, the exact same angle. Just make sure your papers line up exactly. And then you have 2 perfect tags. Now I went back to adding eyelets. I don't think I've added an eyelet for, I couldn't tell you the last time I added an eyelet. Years and years and years and years and years. But I just felt like it needed. A lot of times I don't use it because I'm doing kits and I'm doing stuff for you, and some of you may not have eyelets or the tools to make them. So just make your hole. I have the crocodile. Again, this is an old tool. It's fabulous. Put your eyelet in your project. Put it inside this little knob right there, and then squeeze. It's literally that easy. I remember doing an eyelet class in the very beginning, and we were hammering. We were making holes and we were hammering eyelets. It was a very loud class. That was like at least 20 years ago, at least. Because I've been doing this. My son is 25. I've been doing it for 21 years. That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay, I skipped ahead. I got so excited about the eyelets, I forgot to do the stamping. I'm rushing ahead here, but that's okay. Because I'm sure we can still make it work and be gorgeous. Hopefully we can get around that eyelet. We'll make it work. So I'm using the script stamp. This is a stamp from Tim Holtz. And yeah, about there. Yeah, we'll make it work. I'm using ground espresso. And I'm gonna add that little piece of paper. Let's see how we do. Ah, look at that. Beauty. Beauty, beauty. So this one, I'm going to use this side of the stamp right there. Just add, that's going to work there. Sure. Give it a good press because we're going around that eyelet. Perfect. Thank goodness. All right, now we can add our string. So this is that really pretty red and gold string that I believe I got from Winners. This time of year at Christmas time. We also need to ink these. I'm using Scorched Timber. Oh, look at the grungy goodness. Beautiful. Okay, so these are going to get attached. They're going to overlap a little bit. And I want it to be instant, so I am going to put... Oh, excuse me, my tummy just grumbled. Oops. I'm going to use my two-sided tape. Actually, I have to stitch, and I don't want my sewing machine to go through that. Oh, I'm going to put it back on itself. So line up about like that. Okay, so now for this part, I've got it layered with some cheesecloth that I just added it to some antique linen. So I put some ink and some water and just smooshed it up and just got so that it looks more vintage. So that's just a piece of cheesecloth. This is some packing material that I got my hands on, and it comes with this backing that's just kind of attached to it, but we just want a strip. So I'm just going to tear that strip and get rid of the backing. And so it's a little bit long. And there's a little white piece I can see there. So that's going to be like that, but we want to distress this. So just take your scorched timber and just tap some ink on there. And then we're going to layer, and then we're adding a piece of this really cool lace that's in there. And that was from a piece of doily that I had. And using my Tim Holtz long scissors, I'm just gonna cut a piece of that. And then that just goes behind here. That goes on my tag like that. And then you stitch it so that it looks like that. So this one, mine kind of popped out, but I don't care. I love the look of it. I just zigzagged. I wanted the back and forth, the back stitch at each end so that it looked really cool like that. So I'll stitch that later, but for now we have this piece, and that is going to be attached so that it's on, I think I might, mine I had right to the edge. This one, actually, I'm going to tear this a little bit. I'm going to leave that edge because I kind of like it overhanging. Yeah, that's cool. I used my string on the other one, so let's, I had some extra here. This is awesome doing this because now I'm going to have like 3 cards of each project because I've been prepping and teaching, and so I can keep one and I can give 2 away. Who will the lucky recipients be? You'll have to wait to find out. All right. So that can be glued down. I'm going to use the heavy body gel. I could use my liquid glue. It is paper to paper, but this is going to, it's going to stay in place kind of quicker, and it's not going to move when it's dry. So it's just centered top to bottom. Beauty. Okay, then we've got our 2 and our 5, and just like we did, oh, day 4. Day 4, we take our ink and add them into some lumberjack plaid. I'm gonna this is really juicy. I'm gonna try not adding water. See what it does. Oh yeah. Look at that. Love it. I won't have to do as many coats of ink. Beauty. Okay, then we want to add some scorched timber to the edges. Just adds to the whole grungy feel, makes them a little bit darker. All right, then we're gonna add some clear crackle. So this I found the easiest, but I'm gonna show you just so that it's different. Some crackle paste translucent. So if you have this instead of like in the tube, you can use this too. I have just some scrap paper here. Actually, I'm going to hold on to it first. So you just grab some paste and just tap, 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 tap. Don't try to brush it on. Because it tends to, yeah, that's the only thing with this, it does. But you know what? That red is gonna, it's mixing with the, oh, what color is in there? Oh, that's the brown. So as you can, if you watch day 4, in the little squeezable tube, it's way easier. But if you don't have it, and this is all you have, is translucent paste, it will work too. I just want to do both the same. All right, so those just get set aside. I think I have some colored paste in there I'll have to get rid of. We'll let those dry. And these ones I did earlier, but you can tell I forgot to add scorched timber around there, so they're very almost orangey. That was even the lumberjack plaid, but it just kind of went orangey. So I think instead of adding these ones, I'm not real fond of that color, so I'm going to redo those, and I'm gonna make them so that they're nice and red. The scorched timber or black really makes a difference in in the color. So the last thing that one of the second last things that we need to do is we need to make our title. And I used the Tim Holtz stamp set. That's Simple Sayings. And I'm going to use the Stamp Perfect, just because if I don't get the red, if I don't get it nice and crisp, I can always go back and add a second. So I'll just add that there. Start with the label first. Pick it up, and I'm using Fired Brick Archival. Yeah, see? Good idea that I love it. Then we're using Happy Holidays. And again, this makes it so easy when you don't have to eyeball it. This I'm going to do in black. Look how easy that is. Beauty. All right, using the Tim Holtz recoil scissors, I'm gonna cut this out. Ink it with some scorched timber. I'm gonna just go over the top, and then I'm gonna give it a spritz. Just so I can distress it a little bit. And then this just gets added to our card with some foam squares. Oh, and then I'm just gonna set it there. I'm gonna add some little flecks. Look at these cute little flecks that are on there. It kind of did come out a little bit pinky, even though it is Yuletide and it looks like it's red mica. It was just a smidge. Actually, I'm not gonna do, it is, now that I really get the, I don't know if you can see that on there. It is kind of pinky. I'm gonna just do some scorched timber. I'm gonna keep it classic. Grab my fan brush. It needs to be a little bit wetter. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Love it. And then once my 2 and my 5 that I'm going to redo because I don't like these ones, then they just get put on in the middle, just like that. Thank you, ladies. That's day 6, halfway through. We'll see you tomorrow for day 7.